There's no shame in what you're going through. There's no shame in what we go through in our 20s. And we need to start having more conversations about the thoughts we have, the questions we have in our 20s. I used to think I would just wing it. Coming up, we talk about the struggles of being a content creator and the inspiration behind the channel. Hear me out, guys. Okay? Hear me out. Creating content is really not as easy as I thought. I don't even want to say it's not as easy as people made it seem, because I I doubt people made it seem easy. I feel like I just looked at it and I was like, I could do that. It doesn't look so difficult. It's not. Um it's a job. It's a job, and it requires a whole lot of dedication, and it's a very different, it's a different place to be at for me, where I have my job, and I know I have to show up for my job each and every time. And now with content creation, it feels like a job as well. And I find myself feeling like I need to show up. And it's true, I need to show up. Even on days when I don't feel so good, even on days when uh, I'm just not in the mood, I just had a very long week, I want to rest. I find myself feeling like you need to show up. And it's been both overwhelming, but also it's been an amazing feeling. It's been an amazing feeling in a sense that it I feel like it's helping me grow. It's helping me to be more intentional and to push myself. It has really been helping with pushing myself and not being, I will admit, I am somebody who used to, yes, used to do things when I feel like doing them, especially things that I felt like I didn't need to do at the time. Like I would be like, okay, I could use some rest. And so with this one, yeah, it's been something that has been challenging in a good way for me, where it doesn't matter what. When I'm off, I know one of those days I need to dedicate to actually shooting the content and to actually making sure that no week goes by without me posting anything on the net. And yeah, kudos to everybody who's into content creation. Ugh, guys, we be looking at your videos and being like, oh, that's so beautiful, that's so cool. Oh, I could do that. But there's actually so much work that's been put into this. There's a whole lot of work. I used to think I would just wing it, right? uh Now I find myself spending hours and hours trying to write a script and trying to rehearse it. And honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yes, it requires a lot of my energy, so it can be draining at times. But for the most part, it's amazing. It's amazing. I think it's also amazing to just find myself focusing on something else, something fresh, Yeah, it just seems like something fresh. I'm always focusing on work, 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 work. And so now I have this thing that is just as important as work, and I am putting in a whole lot of energy into it. So, yes, you guys, that is just a highlight of how this journey has been thus far. And I would also just want to give my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you guys for the support. I see your comments. Um, I see you guys sharing, and I'd just like to highlight that, guys, I'm still navigating my way through YouTube, and so I'm sorry for sometimes not seeing the comments on time. I am still struggling to see how many followers I have. I just feel like it's probably a fault. Not really a fault, but it's something I don't really like about YouTube. The fact that it's not so easy for you to see how many follow you can see how many followers you have, I mean subscribers, but you can't see their names. And I would really love to see your names, guys. But yes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your continued support. And yeah, I can't wait for us to grow, to have more meaningful conversations. Um, so thing is, I haven't really uh, talked about why I decided to start this channel in the first place. And the reason I decided to start this channel in the first place was that I realized that a lot of young people, and I'll speak for young girls because it's something I've been through and it's something I'm going through, is that a lot of us, when we get to the ages of 18 to around 27, right, we tend to feel very lost. And this is mainly because we go through this transitioning, right? You transition from being a teenager to being an adult. And a lot of the things that you believed, a lot of your core values, right? The values that your parents gave you, right? Everything that you believed because of your parents, suddenly you don't resonate with it anymore. Suddenly it doesn't make sense. And so you can barely recognize yourself. There's so many there are so many things that you are exposed to, so many feelings, like everything. It's almost like your world is tumbling down, right? And you can tend to feel isolated, you tend to feel lost. And it's not so easy to be vocal about such emotions and feelings, right? And most of us don't really have people we can talk to, people that we are that safe around, right? And a lot of us, even for those that have parents, our parents have not cultivated an environment where we are safe with our emotions, we are safe with our feelings to actually confide in them. So it tends to people feeling isolated. I myself had, there was a time I felt very isolated. I felt so lost. I couldn't recognize anything. Nothing made sense around me anymore. I had a hard time understanding why I was doubting everything, why I was questioning everything. And it can be a very devastating time. It can be a very isolating time, as I said. And so the reason for this podcast is just for us to have those conversations, talk about those emotions and feelings we go through in these years that we are in, and to talk about them with so much grace, and to be like, you are completely fine, you are normal, it's fine for you to have such feelings, right? You just have to deal with them with grace, and you have to try as much as possible to be honest with yourself, to be honest with the kind of emotions that you're going through, and to know that you are going to be fine. Guys, you are going to be fine. I know some days it feels like the world is ending, it feels like you don't have it together, you don't know what's going on, but believe me, you are going to be fine. So I just want us to walk this journey toward being fine together. Let's go to 30s together and share the wisdom that we learning along the way, share the mistakes, the regrets, everything. I guess what I just want to create is a community where we feel a community where you resonate, where we resonate with each other, and we encourage each other through this journey, right? So that's basically what journaling through is all about. And so some of the conversations that we're going to have, they are not really going to be factual like that or fact proofed. They are just going to be observations. And the reason I felt comfortable with talking about uh, my observations was so that you guys can feel comfortable enough to share your observations, then we get to have a community where we engage. You get to understand why I see things a certain type of way, and hopefully you get to make me look at things in a very different perspective or lens as well, because I don't have it all figured out, but I am determined to not let my 20s drown me. I will not drown, guys. I will not drown. I will go through this with so much grace, and I know I'm gonna win. Ain't no way. And it's so funny because it is said that our generation is the most depressed generation, right? Uh, and a lot of times people think it's because of drugs or whatever, but honestly, it's because of the battles that we go through in our minds. There's so much that is happening. Um, this is a time where you get you are constantly developing, right? You are shedding off, but also you are developing at the same time. And there's no other time in your life that you're going to develop as much as in your 20s, right? So it is quite a lot. And so I feel like you need to give yourself grace, and you need to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. You're just shedding and you're growing, and you need to be very intentional, because in as much as it is true when people say that your 20s are supposed to be your best years, you don't have to be so serious. Yes, you don't have to be, but at the same time you need to be serious, because the habits and the beliefs and the core values and the behaviors that you get in your 20s, chances are you're going to have that for the rest of your life, right? So, this is the most important time of your life. You need to structure yourself very well. You need to build yourself very well, so that um, a 40-year-old you is proud, right? A 50-year-old you looks back and is like, you did an amazing job. You did an amazing work, right? And you don't just wake up and you have it all figured out. No, but there's no shame in what you're going through. There's no shame in what we go through in our 20s, and we need to start having more conversations about the thoughts we have, the questions we have in our 20s. There's no shame in what you're going through. There's no shame in what we go through in our 20s, and we need to start having more conversations about the thoughts we have, the questions we have in our 20s, right? So yes, this is a brief into what journaling through is all about. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. As always, please like, subscribe, and leave your comments right down below. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, bye.